Previously on Let's Sculpt a whole BJD on an iPad. The recording failed. So we're picking back up. So basically for the first foot, the recording completely failed. 100%. So this is where we left the foot. As you can see, it vaguely looks like a foot. However, it is horrible. So instead of just telling you the process, we're gonna do a whole new foot from start to finish. Except we're gonna be making changes from last time. We're not gonna be doing the jointing of the foot until we have the base of the foot done first. Okay, so we're gonna start the foot by getting a primitive spear, and we are going to be shaping it into basically a flattened oval. We are going to get it to roughly the length that we want the foot. We can always resize it later. If you were going to get it printed, that's when you would resize it. And then of course we aren't too worried about the actual size. Like I would be pretty fine if I ended up with a foot that ended up in the SD to 70 centimeter range, even though my doll wouldn't be that height, since this is aiming more towards like 54 centimeters. But hey, this hobby has like a lot of smaller feet. I don't know. So if it ends up being a big foot, like, it doesn't really matter, right? Okay, so I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. I don't really need to even explain what I'm doing. I'm taking the move tool and I'm kind of shaping stuff to the general shape that I want it. So I'm laying out kind of an area where the big toe would attach onto, and then all the other toes, and then trying to get kind of like a heel shape of some sort, and then the proper width of a foot. And then you can get your own references, or you can just like look at your own foot for references. I don't know. But traditionally sculpting, I am pretty comfortable sculpting feet and hands. It's really just digital where I'm scared because I can't use scissors. Traditional sculpting, I just full on use scissors, cut some fingers, smooth them out, good enough. Can't do that here. So the process I instead did is this, and then to get each of the individual toes, we are getting a sphere, and we are also turning them into flattened ovals. You can see I'm having trouble trying to connect the toe onto the foot. And then we're just going to be copying and pasting the first toe we do, and then just like adjusting the size to get it to be the other size of the other toes. And then we are just going to put them in position, and then we will go from there. So you can see I'm copying and pasting it, just moving it where I want it, and then adjusting for size. So you can see that for when I am copying and pasting these other toes to make the additional toes, I am leaving them as separate objects. And there is a reason for that. It's because on the first foot in the background, kind of looming over us like some kind of ghost, I had it all as one object, one layer. And yeah, look how that turned out. So we are going to be keeping these as separate objects for the meantime until we get them shaped the way that we want them. And then finally, we are going on to the final toe. So we are pressing those two boxes put together, which is the copy tool. We are adjusting it to where we want it. And then we are adjusting the size. Okay, so I don't know if this would be like weird or not, but anyone that actually did learn something from this, would it be weird if I asked you to tag me in whatever post you make so I can see it? I just want to see. I'm just curious. I want to see if you were able to take my nonsense and make it 10 times better than me. I just think that would be fun, but I don't know if that's creepy to anyone else. But yeah, I do have this linked on Facebook already, so I don't need to like put in my account. But oh no, I did mention my Instagram already. Okay, so I guess I don't have to mention that either. But yeah, I don't know. Someone tag me if you make a doll out of this. I'd love to see that. So this is another reason why I kept them all as separate items. So you can see after I put all the toes on there, I realized I don't really like where some of the toes are positioned. So I'm kind of moving where they base on the toe. And then basically I just did that. I just voxel merged them all together and I blended them. And I reshaped any of the tools, making sure to keep them on separate layers. And then at this point, everything is all blended out because I lost the footage in between these two steps. But it's pretty straightforward. What happened, I just did the exact same process that I did for basically the knee joints on how I connected those pieces together. So those skills transfer very well here. And then I am just using the move tool to kind of get everything to be shaped more like a foot. So you can see like the big toe is very bulbous. The other toes are very squished. So I'm moving them around, trying to get them to look more like an actual foot somewhat. I find the small toe, the little baby toe, was the hardest because like even in real life they are kind of shaped weird. They're not really shaped like the other toes. So trying to get it to still look like a toe while remaining that kind of weird baby toe shape and aesthetic was challenging. And then I'm just continuing to use the move tool, kind of making the foot less flat, kind of moving things around, trying to emulate the fact that there would be some sort of jointings on this foot if it were real, and then trying to get the correct silhouette of that foot with the heel, since I don't really want the feet to be flat. I know flat versus heeled feet kind of, well, not heeled feet, but what am I thinking of? That like what am I thinking? No, it's just gone. Like flat feet versus not flat feet, I guess. I know that kind of varies from company to company, but like I'm trying to aim for not really flat feet. And you can see now I'm building up with the brush, and I'm just going to blend that out. And then for the jointing, I did lose that file too. So basically what I did is I got another primitive sphere and I just placed that on top. I basically did the exact same process of what I did for the neck. And then to make the actual jointing, I just got, a sphere and a cylinder, and that's it. At this point, every technique that we use, we basically already used for a previous point in the doll. So you are just kind of transferring your knowledge to other pieces on this the part body. Especially, I think, is really the easiest part to do when sculpting traditionally, since to get that clean crease with all those little proper divots in the bottom of the foot, you just kind of use like a flat sculpting tool and it's super easy. For this, I really hope there is a tool on this app that I just haven't tried yet where it makes this process so much easier. But for now, I'm just kind of using the tools that I do know how to use. And it's not really getting where I want it. But hey, compare my first foot to my current foot that I'm sculpting. They are leagues apart in quality. And most likely I will maybe try to sculpt another foot. Okay, so this is me attempting to put fingernails on them. I quickly realized that I'm just not going to be able to do that. I'm like, I don't know if it's the controls or what, or if I just don't know which tools to use yet. But I really just can't really figure out how to properly do fingernails at this point. So we're just kind of flattening where a nail would be and just leaving it as is. So that's why I have this part of the video just kind of sped up. Since it is a fail, it's just kind of like, whatever, I did attempt this. I'm just showing that I did attempt this. But we are not putting an actual fingernail on. We are just going to be kind of flattening it and giving it the illusion that there could be one here. And that's it for feet. And then the actual joint is the exact same as all the other joints. We cut it out with an oval and then we just put a cylinder to make that bar. Only hands and head left and we're gonna be done. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it went so fast. I think I sculpted this whole body and I don't even know how long. How many videos are there?